You don't want to sit around and waste time. I'm with you. Get in, get it done.
Exactly.
We're ready to roll.
All right.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and call to order the Bradford Extended Village Board of Education February 7th regular meeting. If we could stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Swab.
Here.
Mrs. Brewer. Here. Pastor Rindle.
Here.
Mr. Biesecker.
Here.
Mr. Manuel.
Here. Thank everyone for coming this evening, and we'll begin with approval of our agenda. Do we have any additions, deletions? If none, a motion to approve. So moved. Scott, thank you. And Louis? Second. Roll call for approving the agenda is printed.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Pastor Rindle.
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker.
Yes.
Next item is approving minutes from our organizational meeting from January the 10th, as well as the approval of our regular meeting minutes. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Maria.
Second.
Thank you, Troy. Any adjustments or discussion or questions regarding these minutes? None? Roll call for approval as presented.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Pastor Rindle.
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker.
Yes.
I'd like to turn the meeting over to our administrative team for the student spotlight.
So we'll start off today with our students of the month. Our first student of the month was nominated by Mrs. Johnson. Do you want to read it? I know, we always offer. So. She nominated Sebastian Smitty, and this is what she had to say about Sebastian. I would like to recognize Sebastian Smitty for my Board of Education Student Spotlight. Sebastian is a fifth grader that I've had the privilege of teaching over the years. It's great to see the growth that he has achieved both academically and socially. Sebastian is truly finding his niche. I recently nominated him for Student of the Week because he continues to try his best by digesting what I'm teaching and applying that knowledge and skill set to achieve success. When Sebastian enters the classroom, he always greets me and immediately shows that he is ready for the task at hand. I really appreciate that he stays true to himself and doesn't let others sidetrack his focus. I want to recognize Sebastian for his hard work and for his dedication towards learning within the fine arts. Great job, Sebastian, and congratulations. And our next elementary student of the month is Nathan Riffle, who was nominated by Mr. Cannon. This is what Mr. Cannon had to say about Nathan. I choose Nathan Riffle as this month's student spotlight. Nathan is in fifth grade band and is an incredibly hard worker. He always stays up to date with his practice charts and oftentimes goes beyond the amount of time required. Nathan is always eager to try new things and to challenge himself at any opportunity. He has an awesome positive attitude and is rarely without a smile. Great job, Nathan, and congratulations. And then for junior high and high school, our first nominee is, our first student spotlight is Isabella Hamilton, who is nominated by Mrs. Moore. I would like to nominate Isabella Hamilton for the February student spotlight. Isabella has been in my publications class for 3 years. I have Isabella in my digital advertising class this year. I know when I give my classes an assignment, Isabella will go beyond what is expected on the assignments. Isabella is a great leader as I see this in group settings in my classes. She tells group members what a great job they're doing. Isabella always has a smile on her face for everyone. Isabella is a class officer in the Student Leadership Council, Student Council, National Honor Society, and is in the top 10% of her senior class. She ran cross country. Currently, she's playing basketball, and she was on the state softball state championship team her sophomore year. Last year, she was on the state Final Four softball team and walk champs. I can't wait to see what she and her teammates do this year in softball. With all that she's involved in school, she still has time to help with her church. It's amazing how she can do everything that she does and keep her grades up, staying positive and smiling all the time. I know if I need something done, Isabella will do it in a timely manner and give me high quality work. If there could be a picture of the 5 R's in our school, respectful, resilient, rotor empowered, ready to learn, and responsible, Isabella would be that picture. Great job, Isabella, and congratulations.
And she's out there taking tickets right now for the
She
basketball
is.
game with her knee propped up from basketball practice.
Yeah. And then finally, our last student spotlight member is Lucas Lewis, who is nominated by Mrs. Fair. And this is what Mrs. Fair had to say. I would like to recognize 6th grader Lucas Lewis for the Bradford Student Spotlight. Lucas is the son of Christy and Sean Lewis. Lucas has shown a great amount of growth both socially and academically this year. The blueprint of his school day changed quite a bit when he transitioned from the elementary side to the junior high school side of the building this year. Lucas has embraced these changes and is flourishing in the new school setting. When he becomes frustrated or confused, he is not afraid to ask questions. And even when it is a task or activity he may not want to do or complete, he does because he understands the importance. Lucas always comes to class prepared, asks relevant questions, and participates in class activities. Great job, Lucas, and congratulations.
These are the students since the last meeting that we had, our students of the week, the elementary students of the month. These are actually the students that we've had for the month of January. 22nd is the beginning, and then we just had this past week. I think it was this group right here that was finished it up for us. And you can look closely, you'll find Sebastian in one of those pictures. This last week I don't know if that's. Yeah, last week. Last week they had the kindergarten antique roadshow. So they brought in some things because they learn about the timeline and they read stories then and now about how things have changed. And some of the things that were now antiques are my age, or I used them as a child. I had the game Payday. That's the Payday game board that somebody found in an old house they moved into, he told me. This one is an antique. It's a picture of the first original school in Bradford that Zella had at the Antique Roadshow. And it was funny, we were looking at that picture and there were teachers up in a tree that were sitting up in the tree when the picture was taken. I thought that was kind of neat. We also had a tape measure that was just pieces of like rulers that you rolled out and made into a tape measure. And then this was a Viewmaster that Violet brought in from, I think it was 1950 something. And actually, if you had batteries that would talk to you as well as show the pictures at the top. And she had in Hawaii 5.0 videos.
And if you want to see that picture that Zella's got, it's down in our office. Sandy, of course, has it on display down.
On Monday, yesterday, we had the 100th day of school, and it was, we also started our kindness week, and this is just a preview for what you'll see the next board meeting. And everybody dressed up like they were, well, what they thought they would look like as a grandparent is what it was supposed to be. Kindness never gets old was what the theme was for that day. But it was, since it was the 100th day of school, we had kids that were dressed up. Like you can see, this was an inflatable walker that this gentleman had. And some of the other kids, this picture looks a little skewed, but he had lines where they'd drawn the age lines on his face. And then we had the teachers that dressed up like 100 instead of like grandparents. We do have some grandparents in that picture, but they made themselves a little older than what they actually look like. Elementary cheer night, we had over 81 cheerleaders in the elementary cheer night, and it went really well. To watch the little girls, we had the pep rally where they practiced, but when their parents got in there, they were showing off those moves. They were getting themselves all into it. It was cute to watch. There was one little girl in particular that was in kindergarten. Her mom sat right up at the front, and she looked at her mom. She was giving all kinds of attitude when they were playing the music, and it was really cute to see so much personality come out. And the cheerleaders did such a good job leading the girls. It was a very good presentation, and it was nice to see that many girls out to do it. In fact, how many did we say there were in the elementary? 124?
24 in
girls,
yeah.
and we had 81 girls that went out and did the cheering for grades K through 5. Dark County Spelling Bee took place last week. I think it was the week before last.
The week before.
Okay, week before last. These are the people that we had Eli Hoffman, Nick Swiger, Owen Bubeck, and Cyrus Matthew, who represented Bradford. They all did a great job, made it through the first round, and Nick Swiger actually got 4th place in the spelling bee, and so here he is in the middle. He said he's going to wear that medal wherever he went, so that we had a good representation. They did a great job, and a lot of the parents were able to come and support the kids at this spelling bee. At the pep rally that I was talking about, there was a staff dance-off. So up here, we have the dance, and I don't think they ever said who won, but Mrs. Johnson was in the staff dance-off. I don't know, do you want to come up and show us some moves? Okay, all right. So Mr. Latino was in it with Mr. Schwederman, Mrs. Roberts, and Mr. Barr. It was just a good time, and Mr. Coderman, one of our new staff members, he really got into it and had some really cool moves. He's kind of, I wouldn't call him a guy that would be like out there showing off, but he had some moves to show to the crowd, and the kids love seeing them do the dance off.
Okay, Mr. Barr is unable to be here today. He is actually with representing Bradford at our boys basketball game today. So here we have the high school, middle school students of the week over the last 2 weeks. And then last Wednesday, we had our National Honor Society induction. And in the back of the picture, you can see the current members of the National Honor Society, and the seats. You can see the new inductees. Inducted this year into the National Honor Society were Daphne Levy, Owen Cannon, Rebecca Sowers, Emily Huff, Elizabeth Skinner, and Caitlin Richard. So congratulations on their accomplishments in making it into the National Honor Society. And then some upcoming events that we have coming up on February 8th, tomorrow night, we have parent-teacher conferences from 3:15 to 7 o'clock. On the 9th, the PTO Spring Flower Sale begins. On the 16th, we have girls basketball versus Rushi at Sydney, which is their tournament game. That will be at 6 o'clock. On the 17th, we have no school. We're doing a professional development day. This professional development day is going to be a little different than what we've done in the past. We're actually going to meet with Franklin Monroe and Arcanum. We're going to meet at Arcanum. We're going to spend the morning doing sessions set up by Dark County, and we actually have some of our teachers presenting in some of those sessions. I think Cody's presenting in one, and Mrs. Breeze presenting in another one. And then in the afternoon, we're going to meet in like groups. So all the art teachers will meet together, all the social studies teachers will meet together, all the third grade teachers will meet together. So this will be a good opportunity for us to collaborate with a lot of teachers from other schools. We've never really done this before. I know a lot of teachers are excited about doing that. We have our home powerlifting meet at 10 o'clock on the 18th. We're also having the Lions Club pancake breakfast that day. So if you're watching this video, come out for the pancake breakfast and stay for the powerlifting meet.
Thank you for the plug.
Also that evening, we have boys basketball versus the Ansonia at Piqua. On the 20th, we have no school for President's Day. On the 22nd, the Athletic Boosters meeting will be at 7 o'clock in the Media Center. On March 1st, the PTO meeting at 6 o'clock in the Media Center. And on the 17th of March will be the end of the third line meetings. The school year has been flying by. So I am also representing Chloe, who is actually outside. We have a junior high tournament game, WOAC tournament game here at Bradford. So she is out there making sure that everything goes all right with that. So today, the boys basketball team is at Houston. And then today and Thursday, we'll be hosting 7th grade boys WOAC tournament. On the 10th, boys basketball at Newton will be the senior night. On the 13th, we'll have junior high sports awards and spring parent meeting. On the 16th, we'll have our girls basketball sectional. And we've already talked about the home powerlifting meet. And we've already talked about Ansonia tournament game. And then on February 20th, first day spring practices. And if you want to purchase tournament tickets, please go to ohsaa.org/tickets, and that's where you can get your tournament tickets. So we have our girls basketball senior night. On the slide there, you see our seniors, Shiny Buchanan, Isabella Hamilton, Shaylee Swick, and Bella Brewer. I have to say, personally, I've been very impressed with this girls basketball team. We had a lot of girls come out that have never played varsity basketball before. I've had the opportunity to watch a couple of their games, and I will say that they, for the most part, fought hard all 4 quarters, and you can't ask anything more from our students than that. So congratulations to the seniors, and I wish them the best of luck in the future. So the girls basketball team also held their Hoops for Hope on January 31st, which was a fundraiser for the mother, Tammy Hamilton, of our senior Izzy Hamilton. The community, along with Eaton, was able to raise over $3,700 for Tammy, who's battling breast cancer. And Chloe, I'd like to say a huge thanks to Emily Clark for helping the coaches organize them. So it's always good to see the small towns come together to help one of our own. So that's one of the things I love about being in Bradford. So Chloe also wanted me to introduce, we do have a football schedule, tentative football schedule so far for this year. The first game against Stonewall is actually a scrimmage. And then these are the games that we currently have on schedule. One of the reasons why we don't have more league teams on schedule is because last year when we had our JV schedule, a lot of the league teams had to sign 2-year contracts to get games. So Chloe said that we are looking for more games, but as of now, these are the games that we have scheduled. Also, we are looking for a new football coach. If you are watching this and are interested or know somebody's interested, please go to the website. There's information on the website on how to apply for football. We're looking for football assistants, junior high. So if you're interested, please email Chloe Thompson for more information. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Yep.
Any questions for either one of us?
I would like to say thank you to the coaches that helped with the girls cheer. Taking on 81 girls and teaching them what they did. And I know our high school girls cheerleaders were a huge help with this and stepped in as coaches, but of course we had some adult leadership there.
Yeah, high school and junior high. Junior high.
Junior high as well.
Junior high, we're in the gym with them when the high school girls were out cheering. So I saw a couple of them in that little gym as they were waiting to go on. I think they got a new appreciation of what elementary teachers do.
And speaking of, I think both of our coaches and Wanda Roberts helped out with that, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a big deal. So
Super, that's great. Next, Mrs. Brewer, do you have anything to bring up here?
I have nothing, thanks.
Next would be Mr. Hurst.
well, I have a few things. First of all, an update on our facilities here as far as what's going on out back. The field is all graded. It's almost finished graded, but they are going to come in tomorrow and start with the irrigation. And all this, of course, is weather permitting, but I don't know if it's going to rain enough to slow that down, but they're going to put the irrigation in starting tomorrow. And then they'll come back and finish grade it again. And then as soon as they're done with that, the seed guy's already been here and looked at it and said, okay, we need this much seed, and they'll start on that as soon as everything's finished getting tore up. The fence, the press box, those things are on the calendar. Lights are supposed to be put up on Thursday. If you've been out there and looked, the lights are actually laying on sawhorses around the track, all 4 of them. They're all put together. The lights, the LEDs are actually on the H brackets on the top, and it's all set to go. They've got wire. I think I won't verify that it's completely strung at this point, but they were working on making sure everything was pulled through that conduit and making sure it was ready to go. So hopefully we'll actually have lights up. Don't want to promise that they'll be working on Thursday, but they will hopefully be upright on Thursday. Our buses, our electric buses are officially ordered. Both of them have been put through the process there. We have had a few questions about the charger itself to make sure it is absolutely 100% compatible with the bus. The charger that we are ordering or would like to order, haven't pushed the final button yet. It's been verified with one of the buses. It hasn't been verified with the second. Got off the email chain today that they've synced everything up with the programming with a 30 kilowatt charger. They need to make sure it works with the 60 kilowatt charger. Hopefully everything should be good, but I want absolute confirmation before we make that purchase. So anyways, the lead time on that, believe it or not, is 2 weeks. Unheard of, but they said they've got them in stock, and that shouldn't cause us any troubles down the road. So even if we wait a couple days before that gets verified, then it should be fine. I will talk about the calendar here in a little bit as we go through new business. And I think that's all I have to talk about in my report, unless you have questions.
Any questions? Thank you very much. Mrs. Serber, our treasury report.
Just a few things I wanted to bring to your attention. You voted on the audit last month. We still can't release it because I'm watching the Auditor of State's site, but everything is completed, but we can't officially advertise that for public review until that's been coming from the Auditor of State's office. As you know, we had an IPA this year. It was a different process, but it was very successful. But I will keep you apprised of when we can actually put that out for public display. We also just recently are in the process of completing our audited or our acceptable use Medicaid audit. Over the last few years, we've increased some of our billing back, and one of the things you'll see on the agenda tonight is a contract, and that is part of the audit that we do for the Medicaid billing. And we've been successful in increasing those billings. We're using a lot more services. We're servicing more kids, and that is increasing revenue for us, which we can in turn use to do more services. Now, some of the things that we've been doing here in the office, and Mr. Hurst has been talking about all the projects he's working on, and as a complement to that, I've been working on the financial end so we can secure things. All that we've been doing this last year has generated, aside from ESSER's, about an extra 1.2 million in grants. So there is a certain amount of work with that, and we've been working to try to get that to operate well within the budget and collect the dollars that we have out there. And with some of the fencing, some of the irrigation that comes through, then we'll be able to recoup some of those dollars back into the district budget. And I'd like to say it's been a nice addition having Tiffany here. She is here tonight. And there's a lot of things we've had in place, but they've been rough. She's smoothing the edges. So that's working out very well. And with that, I'm going to conclude my report.
Any questions for Carla? Thank you very much. Next, do we have any requests for public participation?
We don't.
So next item is the financial report from the treasurer, and Carla will go over the request for us.
The superintendent recommends approval of all the consent items, which include number 1, financial journal for January 2003, check register for January 2003, then and now certification of all bills that were obligated by employees of the district, which includes BSN Sports, MFAC LLC, Dark County ESC, Huddle, Ohio High School Athletic Association, Liberty Services, RIA and Associates, Amazon, Regal Plumbing and Heating. And number 4, we are recommending the approval of all transfers and advances for the month. Number 5, recommend approval of permanent appropriations for necessary amendment. Number 6, recommend acceptance of a contract donation of $5,000 from Premier Health. Number 7, recommend approval of a credit card from Sam's Club. Number 8, recommend acceptance of award of wellness grants with Southwestern Ohio Educational Purchasing Cooperative in the amount of $725. Number 9, recommend acceptance of a donation from Larry Brown in the amount of $500 for the Tony Cobley Character Award Fund. And number 10, recommend acceptance of a donation from Daryl and Kathy Gamble in the amount of $50 to go towards school lunches.
Do you have a motion to approve? And a second? Any discussions or questions for Carla? Hearing none, roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes.
Mr. Biesecker.
Yes.
We have no old business. New business items are item 1 through 17. I'll turn it over to Mr. Hurst to go over the recommendations.
Certainly. First of all, number 1, resignations and employment. We have 3 resignations this month for Julie Davis. Athena Beechler is actually just resigning her assistant role to move into the head coaching role. And then, of course, Rita Lease is retiring after 37 years in this district. So very tough shoes to fill, but we will work hard to hopefully find somebody to at least do most of her job. So certified personnel, Nicole Capasso is going to be a sub. If everything goes well here, Lisa Osborne is going to transfer into the junior high math position, which is basically, or I'm sorry, transferring from the junior high math position to the high school math position where Rocco is retiring from. Megan Unthank is doing the same thing, moving from 4th grade to 5th grade where Cindy Angle is retiring. Certified substitutes would be Megan Rush and classified substitutes, Megan Rush, Michael Rear. Is that how you pronounce it? Ryer, I'm sorry. Michael is also going to help us with an OBI position, training our bus drivers. Supplemental assignments, Athena Beechler, head coach, Josh Seedling, Ronnie Holscher, Mandy Harson, Tatiana Cottrell, and Ryan Huddleston as those coaches listed. We would like to approve and receive a $10,000 grant to help with COVID related expenses through the Darke County Health Department. We would like to approve the ARP Homeless Targeted Support Grant in the amount of $16,500, which we applied for and received, or will be receiving. We were awarded it to help purchase a van, if we can fit something into the right budget there. We have 2 CCP contracts, number 4 and 5, one with Edison and one with Sinclair. Number 6 is joining the OHSAA, or the Ohio High School Athletic Association, again as a venue to spotlight and protect our students in athletics. And the resolution, all on the next page, follows along with that, or most of the next page. Number 7, we are joining a cooperative purchasing group called Sourcewell, and that will reduce our costs on the purchase of the charging unit for the buses. Number 8 is basically a payment in lieu of statement, setting up the possibilities if somebody wanted to start transporting a student for special ed services in lieu of our own transportation. Number 9, K&K Tours is going to help with our DC trip on Thursday, November 9th. Departing Monday, November 6th and returning November 9th. Number 10, we've got the EV Connect for the Zorova charging at $37,830.40 for the charger, assuming everything goes well with their compatibility. Number 11, this is the calendar vote. This is the calendar that was voted on by our staff. 60 votes were cast, 53.3% of them voted for this calendar. And board members, you've got that there in front of you. Staff members have already got it with them. But if anybody wants a copy of it, we certainly will have that. Now, state law requires us to have the calendar presented to the public 30 days before it's approved. So tonight's motion, this one here, basically will say it will be approved 30 days from now, assuming we have no negative issues coming in from input from anybody. So it will be an automatic in 30 days. We won't have to readdress this unless there's something come up. And I also want to point out, we did put an early release, and this is for 2024. But on April 8th of 2024, this is when the full eclipse is coming through, and this is a primary route to be able to see the whole eclipse. So we expect a lot of traffic through the area, but we also expect at 3:08 is when the eclipse is supposed to be in full. So if we're dismissing at 3:10, I kind of worry about our students walking home and looking up and having unprotected eyes and having issues that way. So for the safety of our kids, I'm proposing a 2-hour early release that day. Number 12, tuition reimbursement for Bethany Espich, who's completed some classes. Number 13, Recycle Ohio grant. We'd like to apply for that. recommend approval of number 14 for the travel expenses for Tabitha Breeze to go to a required training for our comprehensive literacy grant in Columbus. Number 15, we've got a revised permission slip we're going to share with parents that will help with liabilities being shared. Number 16, we have a contract with Rhea Associates that Carla was talking about for Medicaid purposes. And number 17, the Ohio Safety Initiative Grant. Bob has been working diligently on to receive or at least apply for this $20,000 grant to help purchase more cameras in the district. So that's it, up to here.
Thank you. So motion to approve the presented items.
Second.
Second, Maria, any questions? For administration, concerns? Good explanation. Roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker.
Yes.
Number 18, the irrigation contract for Flow Masters. That should have actually been 2 words. I typed it wrong. I apologize. Flow Masters is separated. They have a proposal for $43,350 starting tomorrow. We did vote on it a while back not to exceed $48,000. That's a resolution number you see, but we are just plugging their name in here in the exact number.
Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Second. Any questions, discussion? Roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker.
Yes.
Next item is item G1, which is recommendation to enter executive session for item G1 on our agenda. So moved.
Second.
Second. Roll call for executive session.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker.
Yes.
And there'll be no formal action taken after the executive session.
It is, my watch is slow.
My computer says that.
You said it's fine.
Okay. Should we go across the road?
Tell Barb to have the back of your truck checked for DNA. Was it unusually small?
So we were out of executive session at 7:35.
Huh?
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got
A second.
Luke. Got Luke out
Bree
there.
and Scott, roll call for
Full
adjournment.
chair.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes.
Mr. Bisecker.
Yes.
We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for their time. 7:30, so good evening.